Well, good morning. Welcome to the penultimate day of summer for my kids. Today is Monday. The kids go back to school on Wednesday. And then it's also my penultimate week of grad school. I can't believe it. I graduate so soon. So I thought it would be fun to take you along on these last 2 weeks. I'll probably do them in, 2 different weekly vlogs. But I really want, to document this period of time in my life. So right now I am decanting eggs, which is something I used to judge people for. I thought it was kind of silly. And now here I am, 41 years old, and I love my egg drawers. So if we haven't met yet, welcome. My name's Tiffany. I take you along on the grad school journey, although not for much longer, while parenting, but I hope to continue taking you along for different parts of my life as a, right now, mental health counseling grad student, soon to be, hopefully, licensed professional counselor. All right, so a couple tricky things this week. So, obviously, just a really busy week with the kids going back to school. Tonight is extra crazy because the kids have back to school night. Now, because I already had to work, I actually was able to have my mother in law come, and she's going to take the kids to their back to school night because my husband is also a teacher and he has his back to school night. And first of all, this is the second year in a row that I've realized Monday nights in August for me to work is not good. So I need to not make that mistake in 2026. And we'll be filling out our 2026 schedule soon. So no Monday Augusts. August Mondays? Oh my gosh. Anyway, I teach Lamaze. So I teach childbirth classes. It's a 5-week series. This is week 4. The other thing we were going to do is with the kids and me today, it was between Costco family trip or going to see a movie. And I really wanted to go to Costco originally, but with this being the second to last day of summer, the kids decided they would like to see a movie. They had a hard time deciding. They actually really like Costco too. So it was kind of up in the air, but we decided on seeing Freakier Friday. So that's what we're doing. Whew, welcome back to daylight. That was super fun. Freakier Friday. Such a love letter to millennials. Now, I am off to take 2 of my boys to another appointment. Busy day. All right, so if you watched my last vlog, which I'm still editing, I got locked out of a makeup class, and it was a huge imposition because it was like 2.5 hours early for work. I decided to log on from home. I logged in 20 minutes early. Last time I logged in 10 minutes early, and it wasn't enough. So we're going to see if 20 minutes was enough. If I get into this class that's from 4 to 6, and then I have to be at work, the class I teach starts at 6:30, so I'm going to have to book it and hope for the best. So, crazy town. Hi. Holy smokes. At least she didn't make me wait too long, but the room is already full at 3:44. So I didn't get into this one either. I'm so irritated. Okay. Oh, y'all, I am so tired. I'm finally heading into work. I think I took a clip of me not getting into that class for the second time in a row. Then my mother-in-law came over with sandwiches, which was great. Sandwiches and chips and veggies for the kids to have a kind of quick dinner before she took them to their back-to-school night, because my husband is also at his back-to-school night since he's a teacher. And my daughter just got picked up to go to her back-to-school night and walk her schedule. And I have to go to work during all of this. I think I've talked about before, Mondays in August, I cannot do this. And I do not want to do this tonight. But I have to. Because I already had a sub for me last week. Because again, Mondays in August, not good. Not good at all. And I'm just, every little thing is irritating me so badly right now. So I'm going to go to work, then I'm going to come home, and I'm hopefully going to marinate some steaks so that I can cook those tomorrow. That shouldn't take too long, but that's going to be at like 10 p.m. tonight. I'm just done. I am over this day. It started out so good, the movie was so good, and it's just been kind of like slowly downhill from there. I am absolutely exhausted, but I really want to get these steaks marinated for dinner, really the rest of the week. So I'm spending the time doing that now, even though it's 10:20 p.m. Whew. Good morning. I'm about to start my one and only visit for today, this morning, and then it's another busy day. Then I have class. Then I've got to take all of my kids over to a friend's house while I go to group supervision, and then I have a kid that has an appointment after that. And I have just navigated some meltdowns at home. And yeah, life is good. Life is life. We're lifing it over here. Hanging out in a waiting room while my son's in his appointment. So far, day has gone okay. Went to group supervision earlier after my early-ish morning appointment. And when I get home, I'm gonna be doing some meal prep and trying to get us set up for the rest of this week. All right, I'm feeling very defeated because I have tried really hard to set up this week to make it easy, and now it's storming, and I was going to be grilling outside for meal prep, so it's just one of those days / weeks, and I think next week's gonna be like it too, and I'm just tired and defeated. I am super excited because I got this gorgeous new cutting board. Let me see if I can show you. It's massive. And also got my knives sharpened. So I do have some really nice new tools to work with, which is exciting. First up, I am making potato salad to have with our steak sandwiches on Thursday. It's Tuesday currently. In a perfect world, because I'm also making mashed potatoes when the potatoes for this are done, in a perfect world, I would have only had one type of potato dish, or at least been able to use the potatoes that I was cooking in bulk. And so I'm doing it a little backwards, but it is what it is at this point. This cutting board actually has a little divot for an iPad so that you can like use, you know, a recipe while you cook. It's actually quite nice for filming these clips too, so that's kind of fun. Didn't even think about that. So the idea here is I'm going to make this red potato salad in the Instant Pot with the hard-boiled eggs, which is pretty cool that you can do that. The eggs cook at the same time as the potatoes. So I'm just gonna put as many eggs as I can. I think the recipe calls for 6, but I love snacking on hard-boiled eggs. So I'm gonna get as many as I reasonably can in here. Yep. Okay, so I got 3, 6, 9, 10 eggs. 10 eggs, so that's great. Hey, buddy. I'm making that steak and potatoes dinner. And this thing I'm making now is actually going to help us out because it'll be ready 2 days from now when we need dinner. But I'm also working on tonight's dinner. Mommy's doing a lot of meal prep. Realized that I don't think I have as many potatoes as the recipe calls for. I think I only have about a quarter of the amount, so I don't want to go too crazy on the dressing. I can always add more if I need it. Mommy, I know. Okay, this is one pound. Okay. It's not quarter the amount, it's half the amount. So I'm going to add a little more back in. My goodness. All right, that should be good. Well, the bad news is that dinner was a lot harder to bring together, and I was very overwhelmed during that whole process, and the kids are melting down a bit, or they were earlier, but now they're okay. I think just back to school scaries a little bit. And the good news is my family ate most everything. So much so that I don't have enough left over for the meal that was supposed to turn into Thursday's meal with the steak sandwiches. So I'm glad I didn't even put more effort into my meal prep, because we're not going to end up with that meal after all, and we'll be doing chicken nuggets or something this week, y'all. Whew, it's a doozy. Now wave. You look thrilled. Wave again. Mwah. Oh, good morning. Happy Wednesday. I just walked the kids to school. I'm really proud of myself for walking. I have been wanting to try that out for a long time, just to get some movement in the morning specifically, and it's always been like I have to take one of them to preschool after anyway, and so it's never really worked out. And this year, my oldest does want a ride to school some of the time. She was content taking the bus this morning because it would have been too late since we were dropping off for kindergarten. I knew I didn't want to have to rush from one school to the other, so she took the bus this morning. So we'll kind of see how it goes. I'm going to try to walk as much as I can, just because I think for my body, it'd be really good to get about a little over 1.5 miles walk in every morning done by 8. That's great. Hard drop off for me. The kids did great, but sending my baby to kindergarten is hard, and I don't go into details on this, so I'm sorry to be so vague, but just worried about the state of the world and schools and everything. So sending him in particular is tricky. So it's going to be fine though. Else, I work today. I have 3 telehealth visits at 10, 11, and 12. I'm proud of myself for not scheduling a 9 o'clock so that I have this time to just kind of, I have to call because we're getting a door installed. We're replacing our back door, and I have to call the installers to see if we can work out some better timing for the install. And that's where we're at. Oh, I buried the lead there. I'm especially proud of myself for walking because I don't think I slept much after 3 a.m. I think I've been mostly awake since 3 a.m. So, go me for walking. Go me. Logging on for my 3 back-to-back telehealth visits today, but then it'll be almost time to get the kids from school. Why, hello, happy Thursday. I haven't updated yet today. The day started out pretty busy. I had 8 o'clock supervision, a 9 o'clock client, and then I rushed to a coffee shop to meet people that I work with at the hospital where I teach childbirth education classes because we were all 3 headed to a community meeting that I just got out of that was wonderful. It was all about kind of creating policies for doulas and hospitals to work together. I don't say this a lot in my intros anymore because I've shifted so much to counseling, but I spent 10 years as a doula, and since I'm still a childbirth educator and very much working in the perinatal space still, doulas is definitely a community that I'm still connected with. So I'm feeling really inspired after leaving this really great space, and I'm so happy to have been invited to the space and like collaborative care and so many good ideas happening, and I would love to see a lot of the things we talked about actually put in place. So feeling good. It is already like 1:20, so I'm going to be picking up my kids. They gave us lunch. They gave us Condado nacho bar at this meeting, so that's fun. I love Condado. I think it's a chain, but I don't know how big it is. Let me know in the comments if you have a Condado anywhere near you. And so I've been really struggling this week with feeling overwhelmed, and I'm happy that I'm feeling a little better right now. After I pick up the kids, I have a 3:30 telehealth appointment at my house. So still a little bit of like going between, you know, home life and then having to pause and go back to work for a bit, which is a little weird, but feeling better than I have been. So glad for that.